All right, welcome back. Not been that long. I decided that today I'm going to do something that I can do live, and that is to take this apart and clean it. That will include taking the corrosion off the motherboard, taking the corrosion off the backplate, maybe even painting it. I've got some tiny amount. I hope there's going to be enough to spit out there to just cover up the rust under there. After I sand it, of course. Just clean this up, take the floppies out, whatever we have time for. So there's no real schedule here, just see how far we can get with it. So if you are new, I just bought this from, there's another video recording earlier this week. I picked this up and unboxed it from eBay, and it turns out that it didn't need too much work to get booted, but it wasn't perfect. Things I've done since that time, I believe I left it off on a virus scan, no viruses. And then I copied the contents of the old hard drive to a 1.2 gig, but I only partitioned 540 because A, that's only how much this motherboard can see. And yes, I could use an overlay, but this drive has bad sectors towards the end of the drive, and it's been that way for, I don't even remember how long I've had this for, but it's always been like that. They've never invaded or grown. So, I checked it before I did it just to see if the bytes were the same. I have it written down. So basically a 540 meg drive, everything was moved over. I tested it for booting. So I saved all the original stuff also onto a compact flash. I believe it was this one. So the Windows at least is on here because I want that cool logo on the back or upon startup. That said, you'll be criminally liable if you copy or unauthorized use or something like that. It was pretty cool. Anyways, so enough talking. There will be talking, but there will also be action at the same time. So first we're going to take everything out and take a picture of how the wires are connected. Well, these I don't need to take a picture of. This is fairly straightforward stuff. So if you guys recall, the last time that I did this, the only real thing I needed to get going was to clean up the contacts on this I/O card. The contacts being, this on there. Oh, what is this made out of? Let me break this card in half. Cleaning the contacts that go to the bus, these here. And picking, there's still a bit there. That's going to be addressed now. Okay, so, all right, that comes out. These cards are like mint. They're so clean. There's no dust on these cards. I don't understand how the case can be in such bad shape. And we'll just set these aside in this box off camera here, of course. I'm going to take a quick picture of these cables. How they are connected. So I don't have to guess later on. Okay, that's a clear enough picture. So out this goes. If there is time, I'm going to solder up a battery, because last time that battery was removed, it was the source of all the corrosion. And I can't wait to use this motherboard for the main reason I bought it is to test 1546 chips of different types and classes. And I didn't see it in the auction because the CPU was covered up by all this, and it was underneath there. But it is a ZIF socket, which is super cool because all I have to do is put a VRM in here to the 3.3 volt chips. And it's an overdrive socket, and I have, give the one or two viewers that are on right now a sneak peek of that. That is here. All right, so that is, and this works. I've tested it in my Siemens 46. It's not going to be in there forever. It would make no sense. This motherboard doesn't even have PCI, but it'll definitely be there as part of the test. And that one has an extra row of pins that the standard 46 does not have. So this is essentially a Pentium 75 on a 46 die, which is really cool. And that will be tested, hoping soon. So we'll put this out of the way for now. Oh wait, I should probably put the original CPU back in. Which was it this one? No. You know, it doesn't really matter because they're all going to come out anyways. Okay. So that is out of the way. Now you see that is what we have to address. This is terrible. Actually, before we do anything else, I don't want to be ripping this sticker off. So I'm going to go ahead and put some Goo Gone on this. This stuff is great for just lifting, you know, stubborn crap off. And while that is... Where's my toothbrush? While that is... Wait, should I do this? No, I shouldn't do this. I should use my finger. So we'll just get it all over here. And we'll put that aside too so it's not taking up desk space. So the goal here is to take all these stickers off, retrobrite this computer. So I did a bit more digging on the hard drive. Yeah, I said Min, M-I-N-H, was Chinese. I was mistaken. There's a Vietnamese name as far as I know. That's not the research I did. I dug a bit more in the drive and saw that it was definitely a networked PC because it had total, like tons of links to things like V drives, H drives, you know, like LAN resources. And it was part of the Bonneville Power Company. I think that's out in California somewhere. So that was neat. You know, it was definitely a dev's machine because 16 megs of RAM in the early 90s. I mean, that's a ton of RAM. And you can see, I mean, maybe I'll show it later, that the guy running it had tons of different profiles. He had sysedit in his main folder, which instantly brings up things like win.ini, autoexec.bat, config.sys, a whole bunch of things like that. And so he swapped configurations on the fly. You can tell that the last autoexec that was put in there was put in there manually because it was all in lowercase. So this was a system that was being used to develop something. Visual Basic was on there, C++, all sorts of stuff. All right, the only reason I'm removing this cage because there's a screw under here, two of them in fact. Get this floppy drive out. Floppy drive itself is fine. I just want to retrobrite it. So that's what's happening there. There's something in here. Oh, well, okay then. So if I can get this face off. Let's put the hard drive somewhere safe first. These are getting hard to find. Let's take this out. So I have not seen a setup with this yet, where it's on this type of rails. There's a diskette in here too. And do I have the case for it? Or the pocket? Yes. Okay, so there's these rails here, and they screw in on the front. You can see why I want to take these faces off. Oh, this one will be easy. I think what I have to do is first pry that off. So let's do this live, no pressure. If I break something, I'm going to look like an idiot. Actually, hang on. Before I apply force, let's apply a different kind of force. Force of neurons firing. Yeah, that looks like it'll just slide off. Okay. Maybe I'll put something over here. Yeah, there we go. All without breaking anything. And then while this is apart, I have some Q-tips and some alcohol to clean the heads up, and I have some bearing grease. I think that I've had this since I was in high school, and I've actually never used it for bearings. Surprise, surprise. It just got, too old, I think. I got better stuff for bearings. I think I packed a U-joint with it once or twice. Anyways, so I'll be applying that to the... Are there any rails even in here? Yeah, a little bit right there on that slider. Okay. This looks like the stepper motor pretty much direct driven, or? I don't know. I don't want to take any of that stuff apart. It's old, these things are fragile, it works, it's noisy, it's a bit squeaky. This will all be addressed. Get back here. Set that aside here somewhere. Safe. What is this crap? I don't know. Some stickers or something. Yeah, it went all over the table. Fantastic. Alright. And that will go with the other piece under here. Okay. And next is also this. We don't want to lose that. Now these, I could just, this one's not making any noise. I don't really have to open it. I clean that up and just retrobrite right on top of it. I don't want to risk opening this one. This one was nice and quiet. Or should we open it? Let's see what's inside. If I break one of these, it would suck, but it wouldn't suck as much as breaking 5 1/4. Those are really hard to come by now, and they're getting expensive. I know where to get them, but I don't feel like paying that much money for it if I don't have to. Yeah, I kid you not, this stuff is not cheap. Okay, so there's 2 screws in there, but you know what? I'm gonna leave it on because I want to get. See, that's attached to that. Okay, we will do it the correct way. Take this out. Get back here. Just so these don't get lost. Alright, we'll do the mechanics in a minute. Get this faceplate off. Okay, down here. With a button too. Yeah, this isn't part of the original system. That was just something I was messing around with. It will get a CD-ROM. This thing's heavy. It will get a CD-ROM. Just wanted to see how that would fit in there. Okay, so this is almost the bare case. So now, the main thing I wanted to address is this. How are we going to get rid of that? Well, first, let's see if we can get that out. Of course, using only the right tools, never the wrong ones. Where's my vice grip? This will work. So this is pretty corroded. It's coming out with fingers though. Okay. If I have another one, I'll use it. Okay, yeah, so right over here is exactly where the battery was. You know what I'm thinking? Maybe the reason the motherboard was swapped is because the original battery, because this was a 386 before, but really though? It got up there? I don't know. I'm still thinking it was stored upside down or something, because, I mean, if the tech that just swapped the motherboard in and didn't even bother addressing that, that's just lazy. All right, to do the job, I'm going to use some vinegar. Yeah, that is vinegar. And because I'm not touching the motherboard with it for now, I'm just going to put it on there at the concentration that it's. Always use the cleanest brushes you can find. Never dirty ones. So don't do what I'm doing. Put that there, in theory, should get most of the crap out. I'm going to sneak that back into the dishwasher before. Well, it's just vinegar. It's fine. I'm not going to get in trouble for this. Now, later on, I am going to shoot some paint at this. Down here. So I'm going to turn the furnace off. And make sure that it doesn't go in the house. There's like less than a spit's worth of paint in there anyway. The vinegar's doing a pretty good job here. Even some here. All right. That smells great. All right, well, I'm going to take this away now. This is plugged in. Awesome. All right, but that's light. We'll put this away. And then we'll get the motherboard. And we will apply the same. Oh, I get to sit. All right, and we will apply the same logic to the motherboard. This time we're going to put a bit of water in that vinegar. I'm going to actually flush this vinegar out because there's particles and stuff in it. So I will be back in a second. Yeah, that's just water. Let's prep. Let's get this out of here. I don't have a chip puller. You can use this or a screwdriver. Just be careful. That's all. Alright, so yeah, I don't know how well that is showing up on camera. I would bring it up there. Okay, so where is it? There. There, you can see all the corrosion. Oh, wrong finger. Damn it, get over there. Right there. All of that. It's not terrible. It certainly isn't good. Let's see if the RAM is affected by that. Oh, RAM looks good. I did also mem test this. Mem test did end up working. You just have to boot it without any TSRs. It doesn't like memory management. Or no, check it. I ran check it on it. Mem test I find doesn't work super well with older motherboards. Okay. The old let's blow on it first thing. This is my compressed. Oh, and also keyboard BIOS. You can see corrosion in there also. Yeah, even here, wow. All right. So safe to say this motherboard will not be turned on today. Because after this, I'm going to let it dry. If you're doing it this way, just try to keep it as flat. Don't put it in here and then reef on it for several reasons. Obviously, you're going to bend the back pins. Secondly, if you nail the motherboard with the opposite end of the screwdriver, you're just going to put pressure on it. You can break a trace. So I'm just using this as leverage here, and it isn't working. Bigger screwdriver, maybe. Yes, that will do. Okay, yeah, so that's not too bad. It's only just on the front part. Okay, keyboard BIOS notches there. All right, good. So I don't know which motherboard was responsible for which BIOS battery was responsible for the death of this computer. But we are going to neutralize all this corrosion right now. Stir that up real good. It's roughly 50-50 of water and vinegar. And yes, you can absolutely do this. There's nothing wrong with this. I have inserted entire motherboards into baths before, as long as they're not on. I do recall this jumper was kind of horrific. Yeah, this jumper's going to get thrown out. We're going to replace that. This resistor is kind of bad too. Front of this bus is pretty bad. So yeah, there's a reason it's not going to be turned back on today, because I'm going to let it air dry. It's like brushing teeth. That one seems a bit corroded too. Gotta remember what positions these were in. This was in the 2 facing out, and this one was, or rather is. Yeah, that's not terrible. I'm gonna just throw the whole thing in there. I'm gonna take the RAM out as well. I think for testing purposes, I'm going to just put 4 megs of RAM in it. It's just quicker to boot because I'm going to be doing a lot of booting and rebooting on this machine. I mean, it doesn't take that long, but still. Yeah, that's fine. And that will go here. I don't know. I'm running out of room here. This is fine. All right. So that jumper went to those 2. And that jumper went there. So we're going to see if we can... I mean, that already looks pretty good. Let's do some plaque removal here. Yes, this is an actual dentist tool, which I I asked for it for my dentist. And I told her what I'd be using it for. This is also good. The sharper ones, the pointier ones, are good for like working on carburetors and stuff. So it's primarily what I got them for. But I mean, these are just great. I mean, they are essentially little teeth I'm working with here, except that they're not made out of bone and they corrode. Yeah, and yeah, every time I go there, I ask her for some. Lately, I haven't been because I don't know what the COVID protocols are. I mean, whatever, you sterilize it, it'll be fine. I'm not fucking eating it right away. Yeah, this isn't bad, actually. I have worked on way worse than this. I wonder if this is a later revision of this board or some sort of weird hybrid, because it has the ZIF socket, but it still only has 30-pin memory. I'm not entirely sure when 30-pin memory came into the mainstream, but this board already, just by looking at the jumper settings loosely, it already supported DX266, which is what this needs anyways. Alright, and if I just left it like this, that would suck. So what I'm going to have to go do is actually go run just a quick water on it. So, get all the crap. There's no point. I just spread it all out. It doesn't make any sense. The back part is looking pretty good. Some dust there. Okay, I'll go rinse this. I'll turn up the soldering iron here. We'll solder in the battery too. So I will be back in 30 seconds. I'm back. And I'm going to put some jumpers in before I forget. You can already see the vinegar solution doing its job to that thing. It's sort of like blue line all over it. Or blue corrosive crap. So yeah, this was just a quick, I mean, I didn't high pressure it or anything, but you know, just a quick shot of water. And you know, see it still coming off of there. Ugh. And yeah, again, just let it air dry. You know, I'm not turning this on for a couple of days, so that should be fine. Actually, I remember when I was, I don't know, 10? No, I wouldn't know, maybe 11 or 12. And I had an old 286 motherboard. No, I was older than that. I was like 14 or something. These things were relatively worthless. I mean, relatively. Just nail this chip a bit too. Chip with this. And anyways, so a friend of mine and I were in discussion, and he said, "You can't put water on electronics, so it'll break them." I'm like, "Yeah, only when there's, you know, circuit flowing through it, electricity flowing through it." And he was like, "No, man, that's not how it works." I'm like, "I'll bet you $10 if I put this motherboard in the water, you watch me do it. Put it in. We'll both put it in, and tomorrow it'll work." And he's like, "Yeah, all right." And I did that. I took all the chips out. There's a lot of chips. It's a 286 board with a lot of discrete chips on it. And I took them all out. I think maybe like I'm not sure. This was a while ago. There's a lot of chips, like 20 chips or something like that. Surprised I put them all in the right place. Then I threw the whole assembly in the water bath with him there, drawing a map of how the chips go back in. I wasn't really sure what these notches meant. I think that's why actually I learned about the notches. Was because that there was like one side of the chip was different from the other, and I remembered that. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, there is a oh dear, I'm not very good at navigating. There's a notch there, and there isn't one on the other side. So I think I did that, or I wrote which way the letters were facing, something like that. And just do that. And yeah, then it just got put back together the next day. And he saw me put that much water in the tub, that much, put the board in, let it sit for, I don't know, a minute or two. And then he's like, oh, you're dumb, it's not going to work. You better have your $10 ready for me. Well, the next day, I put it all back together. First, and I showed it to him. He's like, that's not the same board. I'm like, what do you think? I just have 286 motherboard? I'm like 12, dude. I don't know. But he did end up giving me the $10. So it was the labeling of all the chips was, I mean, $10 when you're 14 or 13 in the 90s. That's not nothing. You think a pack of smokes then cost, hell, I don't know, $3. Just making shit up here. I don't know. All right, that is going to dry. Just wondering about all this crap here. You know what I'm going to do? You can't see this because I can barely see it. But there is a disturbing amount of debris there. Now watch them going on all about this, and there just isn't a part 3 because the company now broke the motherboard by putting it in water. You just see my friend from grade school being like, ha, sucker. A lot of dirty crap has come out of there. Alright, that's probably fine. Alright, let's put a battery in here now. What do we have? Half an hour? Okay. Okay, so this is the battery I like to use. This is like $2 for 4 or $3 for 4 or something like that on eBay. And these are lithium lithium ion rechargeable batteries, 3.6 volts. They actually put out like 4. I don't know why, but I don't know, maybe they're like supercharged from the builder, the factory, I guess. So we just got to make sure the polarity is correct. So if you're putting one in, so what it does is if you just put one in, this actually it touches that one, so it makes they're in series. If you put 2 in there, you get whatever, 7.2 volts, which is awesome because you can use these in old laptops or Dells that have 7.2 volts. So the polarity matters because you're going to put in the positive side here, and then cap it off like that, and put your screws in. Before that happens, I like to measure. And I spoke too soon because I put my measuring tool away. It's right here. Perfect. So if you're just tuning in now, I washed the motherboard basically after decontaminating it from corrosion. And now, because everything's out, I'm connecting it. Oh, there's a switch on this too. I'll switch it to on, and we have phones. And anyway, so we are now just on the stage of putting the battery in, and we got 4 volts. Weird. Okay. Anyways, the polarity is correct. So let's do it. And I came prepared for this. Just put that in some water. Put it back over here. And we're going to quickly zip the battery in here. Which is what, here? I guess that's where the battery is. Yeah. That will just go out. I don't have my solder sucker handy. Grab the other end. It's out. That is the trailing edge of the battery leg. The solder is coming out pretty easily. That's generally a good sign that it's not very contaminated. It's part of the problem of doing these kinds of repairs is if the battery damage is real bad, the leak, it gets into the solder, and then you have to counterintuitively put more solder on it to get it out. Like you have to break away the outer layer, and the reason it's taking so long to do that is because I have these, so just dissipating all the heat. Okay, there we go. Out. I think so. Out. No, not yet. What did I pull out? All right. Let's try that again. It's like almost out. There we go. Okay. So bits of battery there. Find my solder sucker, nor can I find my is that copper wire, the stuff that you use to pull this out. So I'm going to just attempt to separate it like that and then bust it off, because this is a very professional channel. I do everything by the book, including putting motherboards in water. Okay, all right, so let's have a look here. Ha! I don't know the polarity. That's embarrassing. I'm pretty sure positive is on this side. Well, actually, this diagram always screws me up, so I'm gonna look it up online. What is the electrical signal for? Polarity. Electrical. I am currently looking for okay, so according to the internet, the big one is positive, and I usually tend to remember that positive does face the battery, the keyboard port. So, but you never know, and also it only took like 20 seconds. So let's get soldering. Just don't care too much about this table, but I care about it enough that necessarily want to burn it. But okay, that's good. I'm going to turn it off for now, just in case there's because it's still wet, there could be a short somewhere. I don't want to apply power to it in any way. I mean, it would really only be bringing power to the CMOS. That's not even connected right now. It's over there. But still, why risk anything? Double check that diagram. Yes, that is positive. Okay. Put that through in there. Solid core too. Nice. This is always the fun part. I need to get some sort of setup. Sometimes I just put like books to keep these things upright. But yeah, I mean this is. And it came right back out. Oh, the solder must flow. Damn it. How did the workers at Foxconn do this? Okay. Actually, are there? I wonder if there are any Foxconn components on this motherboard. Oh, there we go. Nice and sealed. There, that's a good connection. Bit of flux. We'll leave it there. Alright, so that is set to off. That is it for the board. I'm going to go put this away so it can dry, along with its support chips here. Yeah, that is much better. Like, these were all blue. They're still a bit blue here. This side's good. Backside. Yeah, this one got it a lot. I don't know why. It's further away from the battery. This one's good. Anyways. Alright, that's enough for that. Oh, wait, jumpers. That's right, before I forget how they went. That is right. So this jumper is clean, and it goes here. And the other jumper... There's a good one. And it goes, I think there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it actually. I can't check by the levels of corrosion now because they're gone. All right, so that goes somewhere else now. Let's bring the case back. Oh, the printer did a fantastic job of getting the rust off. All right. I don't even know how the corrosion gets up so high. So where that sandpaper at? I'm just using it. Awesome. I'm not going to edit that out. I can't edit that out. This is live. That is looking a hell of a lot better. But I know of a way that it can be made to look even better than this. Absorb as much of that crap out of there as we can. I could probably just leave it like this. But I don't know if they galvanize these or if there's some sort of chemical process behind it or anything like that. So I think the furnace just cycled, so it's not going to do too much damage. And also, this will serve two purposes at once. My mouse pad. It'll absorb all this vinegary water, and it will act as a shield. I'm going to attempt to paint indoors. If anything even comes out of this. That's not bad. All right, we're going to leave it. I'm going to go open a window. I'm going to get yelled at. Okay. There's actually still like a remnant in there left. Cool. That looks way better than it did. If you're just joining, trust me. Just trust me. It was better. Because this was all just rust everywhere from the battery. Alright, let's turn our attention now to the floppy drives. I'm going to clean up the faceplate, and I think we're going to call it a night after that. If I don't get to the retrobriting, I'll at least explain it. Alright, let's just... This is a disaster. What did I do here? Yeah, there's no grease left on the motor, so let's put some on. To do this, I like to use only the most precise tools. that there. And this here, bearing grease from like 19, I don't even know, 90 something. That's not working too well. Let's try a screwdriver. Yeah, that'll work. So typically what goes with these drives the most is the the heads go out of alignment, which is annoying. The heads get dirty, which is less annoying. And this just makes a ton of noise because it hasn't been greased since it was built. Whenever or wherever that may have been. Well, it can't be wherever that has been. Anyways, you get my point. So I like to just put some grease on it, run it through once. This is just basically like a serpentine or a screw gear. I think they call them worm gears. I don't know. There's even corrosion on the. Is that corrosion on there? Oh, that's just the old grease. Okay. So you run it through once. You put a little bit more there. You don't need a lot. That's probably enough. All right, and then when you turn it back on, it'll reset. It'll just reset. It'll do its boot sequence. I like to wipe, just the excess off. So this thing does spin. I mean, I don't imagine it flies open, but still, I don't want it shooting grease on the diskette. So, and as a precautionary measure, I generally like to, well, first, let's take all the obvious dust off. I mean, this isn't a thorough clean. I don't want to open it because opening the bodies of these, you risk taking the head out of alignment. It is possible to realign one head without any specific tools. By specific, I mean like any, you don't need like, let's put some here too. You don't need anything elaborate to do it. You can just kind of read. I mean, that's how I did a few of my compact drives. And they work fine to this day. Still have them. That's not too bad in here, actually. Seems to be mostly just on the outside. All right, and as a precaution, let's try to go through all of these because I do need to do another drive still. And as a precaution, just hit the heads with this. Just the pure alcohol, the better. The hell, there it is. You can get it at like Shoppers Drug Mart, or I think I got that one from Sayal the other week. It's not the purer the better, obviously. Okay, so that's probably good. Let's put that back. There's even rust on here. Nice. I'm not that concerned about it. Okay, and the face remains off, which means I'm just doing BS work right now because I'm going to have to take it all apart. So I'm not going to screw it back in all the way. The face will get retrobrited. I'll prep it tonight, probably off cam. I mean, this isn't a high-paced video, but nobody wants to see me, smearing the hair bleach onto a drive. And if you do, I don't know. I'm just not going to do it. All right, so there's some dust there. There's quite a bit of dust in there. That initially was quite noisy, this mechanism here, but after a few rotations, it quieten down nicely. See the first video, the first time I put something in here, it was like, it is just not it's squeaky. Squeaky. So let's back the heads off. Okay. This mechanism has 2 sliders, and this one is definitely, oh, well, there that goes. I think this drive was on top, so it's going to have more crap in it. And, dust is your enemy here for 3 reasons. 1, well, actually more than, I don't know, let's just list the reasons. Static. Obviously, static buildup on electronic components is not good. It brings moisture. So if you have, I've seen this. I've seen super dusty computers, and at the bottom of them, or wherever there was like I'm not even talking about machine shop computers. I mean just like computers that are in super dusty environments, not necessarily with like date 1991. Cool. So I think the drives are original because the case is also 1991. Yeah. So dust attracts moisture, which then attracts rust. Dust also traps heat, which isn't really a big deal for this particular application. Then dust gets between the heads and stops it from reading correctly. So all sorts of reasons why you don't want dust. So this one has 2 sliders. I could probably clean that better. Oh, this just moves on its own. That's my compressed air. Some of it got in me. Alright, so which way did I move that? So that should just get a little bit of grease there. Move it back and forth. Get it all around. Okay, that went nicely to the bottom. Very good. And then there's a second rail here. That just feels smoother. I mean, I worked on some of these things that they wouldn't move. The track was so corroded, or there was so much crap on it. They would be, right? I mean, this is a massive stepper motor. That's just big, right? So, all right, yeah, that looks fine. So now we can put this here and grab one of these and grab some more of the alcohol. Preemptively clean these heads. I mean, it was working. This is just a precautionary, hey, let's just do this because we have it open. And some other places that typically would benefit from grease is this push-down mechanism here. I'll just put it a little bit under like that. Yeah, that's good. Or else here. Actually, you can probably put something a little bit where it was making noise before under this roller and then just start turning it. Yeah, that's good. Usually graphite lube works a bit better, and it's just a little shot of it, right? You don't need a ton. Okay, so that's the drives sorted out. That can be gone. Drives can just chill in the corner, await reassembly. And the final thing I'm going to do is prepare it for retrobrating. Shit, garbage is gone. And that means just basically getting this crap off of here. And there's a variety of ways of doing it. I have at the start of this video, which is, how long is this now? 1 hour exactly. Nice. I have already put Goo on the front of this case and let it soak. So these stickers should just peel right off. I don't know what this crap is. That's going to require some more handling. It's all over the place. Yeah, so what I'm going to concentrate on now is just getting these stickers off. This vinegar-soaked towel will do, or my old shirt will do nicely. Yeah, there we go. Dan Weston. Hey, there's a name on here. Maintenance. Oh, what does it say? Do not. Damn it, I tore it. It like went through the first layer. I guess we can take this off. It says call Dan Weston extension 287. Okay, let's see. I tore the other one off. Anyways, Dan Weston extension 8742 for maintenance. Oh crap! And there's the actual. Yeah. Wow. I mean, what am I surprised about? Yeah, it had an IT crew. They had those things in the 90s. I wonder what it would have been like to work. I mean, I worked technically for IT in the 90s. I was a parts monkey. I assembled computers. Very much like the ones that are here, except never to this level of detail. I was also not even supposed to be working. I got the gig because it's a long story, but I worked under the table at a computer store. That's how yellow. I mean, that's the original color. And yes, so I mean, this is. I'm super familiar with these kinds of things, but honestly, even after all these years, I'm still learning new things about old tech that nobody cares about, except for the one viewer now that is with me, if that's even just me. Oh, I got a question here. Oh, hey, I hope I don't have a time limit on these things. Nitro Raptor. If you're still there, man, happy to see you. I don't know if you left. Anyways, what's happening? What is happening? Just final stages of cleaning this thing up. For the intent of this video, I'm just getting all the glue off. This is going to then get prepped for retrobriting. I mean that's enough. You guys know what a cleaning looks like. So basically, what's going to happen after that is this stuff is just oil developer, 12%. This is for hair bleach. You put it on. What I like to do, spread it on evenly with one of like right in. Sometimes you know what? Honestly, I don't even take it off I just do it on the computer, like in the drives and everything. Just as long as it's not this way, so the goop doesn't fall in. Spread this around, clean it up nicely, obviously. And then you grab some saran wrap and you just put it. Now, there's a couple tricks to this. Make sure it's spread out as evenly as you can, and then put the saran wrap on nice and tight. Because if you don't put it on tight, you're going to form bubbles, and those bubbles will act as, I guess, lenses, and you'll get marbling. And that has happened, but generally I have like a 90% success rate with this method. I must have absorbed something. Anyways, so I'm going to clean this off camera, retrobrite it. There's no point in doing that. And yeah, so let's just take a look at the case, how it came out, because I put it away in another room, the paint. I don't know, that looks pretty good to me. There's another angle of it. I mean, that blends almost perfectly. That's awesome. So I'm just going to put the stud, I'm going to let that soak in whatever's left of my vinegar there. I'm going to screw another standoff in this place. Because if you recall, there were two there. And I think I've got one here. If that screws into that, then I think I'm good. At the right thread pitch? I guess we'll find out. Yeah. Okay. So I just put a fresh one in there. The other one is, it's in that vinegar bath, and yeah. All right. I mean, I'll screw it in the tool. Also,
Are these the same height? Because sometimes they're not, and that is annoying. So.
Actually, you know what? Only way to tell. Yeah, there's that. Okay. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night. I mean, at least on cam. I'm going to keep going. The next time will be a proper video, like with proper editing and everything. Just I'm on a time crunch. I got to configure this thing and get it all ready for the big test, because then I probably already have a client for this machine. So, yeah, I don't want to keep him waiting for too long. I mean, if not, I still just want to get it done. It's getting warm outside. You know, I want to get my project car running, stuff like that. So, yeah, I think this is going to be it for now. So I will see you at the next time, and it'll probably be a real video. I mean, real with, like, proper edits, not live. So, recap, what did we do? Took it all apart, cleaned it, gave the motherboard a bath, decontaminated it with vinegar, decontaminated this with vinegar, took some stickers off the front, and cleaned and prepped the floppy drives. And yeah, I mean, that's an hour's worth of work. All right, I'll see you next time. Do widzenia.